So I think it's worth trying. For myself, I prefer the pumpkin pie better than the sweet potato pie. So I think this was worth a try for $7.99. Now the one at Sam's Club is around the same price, but it is a lot bigger of a pie. And like I said, it's more of a general taste. It's not quite spicy. Like this one has like a little bit of more seasoning to it than the one at the Sam's Club. So I was pleasantly surprised today when I got the chicken from Vons. It was fresh, it was hot, it was juicy, and I've had their wings before and their potato wedges. And when they're fresh, they are absolutely delicious. And I was pleasantly surprised by the chicken. It was a very nice gift to receive today. The chicken is actually awesome, especially when it's nice and hot and still juicy. It tastes pretty decent. Now, one piece, I think it was a wing, could have been a drumstick, I'm not sure, but it was a little bit salty for my liking. I usually don't use a lot of salt. I use seasoning, but I don't put a lot of salt on my food. And that was the only thing for me that if there was a negative, it would be that. And you know, I love a lot of pepper, so I probably would have put too much pepper on it. But anyway, it's very crispy. And the meat is juicy. So I think it's worth it, especially on hot days and you don't want to be frying up something with the greasy grease, and you just want some chicken. You can buy a couple of pieces or one piece. You have that option. Like I told you before, I usually get, if I do buy it, I usually get the wings and I get the wedges. And occasionally I used to buy their chicken pot pies, but I really stopped eating a lot of that type of stuff and went back to what usually works for me best. And that's just eating a lot of vegetables. I like the cauliflower. I like the asparagus. And I just love veggies. I don't care if they're fried, baked, or what have you. I just love veggies. So I've been eating more of that lately and drinking plenty of water and eating a lot of fruit, which I'm getting my fiber. Now, one thing I did notice was sometimes when I get the fruit bowl with the pineapple, sometimes if I eat too much of that, it just tears my gums up. So if you have elderly family members that you may be the caretaker of, I would go with the melon bowl over the one with the pineapple and the kiwi. I think it might be too much, for the gums. But that's just my take on it. I eat a little bit of everything, but I did notice that, and I thought I would make a note to you guys to just be aware that it can irritate the gums if you do too much of the pineapple. And they had a special too at Vons where you buy two, then you get one free. So I had bought a total of 6, and some of those were the ones with the pineapple in it. So I was just tearing it up, and it was tearing up my gums after a while. And I'm still munching and crunching on it because I love pineapple. I love kiwi. I just love fruit. So I thought it was an excellent deal, to get the 2 and get 1 free. So anyway, at this point, what I would say, if you really want to get something that's fried and fresh and tastes halfway pretty decent, it ain't gonna be as good as your chicken. And we have this discussion all the time that it's never going to top the way that you make your chicken at home. And I would totally agree with that. However, like I said, it's good enough. It tastes good enough, and you can still put your hot sauce on it or dip it in whatever you want to dip it in, or however that you want to do it. Put it some gravy, make it some gravy real quick. Whatever it is that you like to do, this chicken will be good enough for it. For whatever it is that you're trying to do. And like I told you with the pumpkin pie, Jesse's pumpkin pie was a little bit more seasoned, like I like it, like something that I would make at home and have a little bit more seasoning to it, versus the one at Sam's Club that I probably would take to my employment, to the bank type gathering that they would have, because it was more of a general pumpkin taste, versus this has a little bit more spiciness to it. But both of them I really enjoyed. If you just want to have 2 different type of pumpkin pies, then these are 2 that you may want to give a try. So I will chat with you guys a little bit later. I'm going to get some content together for you, and that's what I'm working on currently. And I wanted to chat with you too about what's been going on here in Los Angeles. I told you city life is always different. There's always a lot going on. They seem to have calmed down in some areas, and then yet we still always have something going on. We've lost some of our I'm finna call them security, some of our officers that keep us safe, and that's always unfortunate. They were off duty though, so um, and I kept telling you guys how much Los Angeles has changed, and for the women to be careful. Well, like I said, it's also the same for the men, that they too need to be careful. So we'll chat a little bit later, but like I always tell you guys, every Sunday we go live. And if you're not there asking any questions, or you don't leave any notes in the little community area, then I usually keep it really quick and brief, and I just let you know that I got my steps in, and that I have my menu for the week. I plan out what it is that I'm going to eat, and I also keep drinking a lot of water. I also been looking at my natal chart, and there's a lot that I want to share with you guys. I think I'm going to do another live, cut this one short, because this main topic is just about the pumpkin pies for this season, November, and then we'll chat further about the natal chart.